first Monday of the month, and we have Norma Thorburn with us, and also we have a special guest today, Johnny Russell. Good morning. All right, Norma, good day, Johnny. I'm not bad. I forgot to put your mics on, so I have to say good morning again. Sorry about it.
Charlie.
Good morning.
Okay, Norma, you got Johnny with us this morning, and you told me about Johnny about 2 months ago. I believe Johnny's got a special hobby.
He's got a great interest in the early aviators of our country, and he's written songs about it, so I thought, well, the listeners would like to hear something of this history today.
Okay. Johnny, you wanted to push this button and play that first?
Yes, sure.
Okay, here we go.
In her single-engine private Saratoga, she pursued a goal they all said can't be done. But she soon proved beyond a doubt what this lady was about. Now her solo flight around the world's been won. She's the hero of the nation. She's a lady. She doesn't know the words defeat or maybe. Determination was the word as she flew solo around the world. Now the hero of the nation is a lady. 99 days she's been gone, so tired and weary. Solo woman battles onward to her goal. Often fearful and alone, she thinks of loved ones back at home, and how proud they'd be when the whole world made it known. Gabby Kennard, you've inspired our generation with your courage and determination too. If you've a goal you must achieve, then first you must believe, then persevere, the rest is up to you. She's the hero of the nation, she's a lady. She doesn't know the words defeat or maybe. Determination was the word as she flew solo round the world. Now the hero of the nation is a lady. Gabby, when I'm feeling down and somewhat troubled, I remember all the hardships you went through. Now I know Amelia was your inspiration. I believe my inspiration is you. She's the hero of the nation. She's a lady. She doesn't know the words defeat or maybe. With a sense of win, not failure, flying spirit of the stress, as a strange we salute this hero lady. She's the hero of the nation, she's a lady. She doesn't know the words defeat or maybe. Determination was the word as she flew solo around the world. Now the hero of the nation is a lady. She's the hero of the nation, she's a lady. She doesn't know the words defeat or maybe. Determination was the word as she flew solo around the world. Now the hero of the nation.
The hero of the nation.
Wow FM 100.7, your Love Hill Community Radio Station.
Thank you, Charlene. You jumped me. Okay. Johnny, could you tell us a bit about that song?
That song was written about an Australian lady called Gabby Kennard. Gabby was the first Australian woman to fly solo around the world in a single-engine aeroplane back in 1989.
All right. Well, that's not that long.
No, not so long ago. She was a marvellous lady. I got to know her quite well. And she took with her on the voyage the video cameras for 60 minutes, TV cameras, and she videoed the whole journey from the time she left Bankstown Airport to the time she got back. It took her all 99 days, and she she encountered a lot of problems on that trip. Believe she was very lucky to get through. Actually, and a few times she came very close to a plane coming down in the middle of nowhere. But she was very courageous and she was very brave. She determined to do the trip, and she finally did it. Got back, and I met her, and I decided that I'd sing. I liked aviation and was always interested in aviation. I showed her my song that I'd written about Charles Kingsford Smith, and I said I'd like to write a song about you, and she was quite overcome by that and everything. So I decided to write a song about her. That's the song I wrote, and we called it Solo Woman, which is the same title as her book she wrote.
All right.
Solo Woman too.
Is she from New South Wales or?
Yeah, she's from Sydney. She was living in North Sydney when I met her. She's since sold her home, and they're living now down at Bowral, New South Wales. And she's a marvellous person. She's both she and her husband are great aviation people, and she just wanted to do something in life, to something different, pursue something that no one else had ever done. And she was a great fan of Amelia Earhart, who had attempted a similar flight back in the 30s, American lady, Amelia. And Amelia Earhart unfortunately lost her life trying to do the same. Gabby read her book and was inspired by her, and thought she'd try and fulfill the something that Amelia had attempted to start, didn't quite finish. So Gabby got through it, the whole lot, and that's about it.
How did you get involved in aviation?
Aviation, I've always been interested in Australian history and aviation history in particular. And many years ago I met a man called Austin Byrne. He was a historian who had spent 50 years of his life building a memorial and lecturing all over the world about Charles Kingsford Smith, who was his idol. And he inspired me at that stage. That was back in the early 80s. I met Austin, and he inspired me to, because I was interested in aviation also. He said that no one had ever written a song or done anything or orchestration to commemorate our great aviation heroes. And he said, why don't you're a songwriter, why don't you try and do something seeing you like aviation? And I said, well, that's something I could think about. So I thought about it for some time and got a lot of information of him. He had a lot of memorabilia there that Smithy owned. And I actually was able to get the actual speaking voice of Smithy from this man. And he said I could use that on the record. So I decided to write a song. And I called the song The Immortal Southern Cross, about Smithy's flight across the Pacific back in 1928. I've got my guitar here. I'll sing it for you if you like.
Yeah, excellent. Go ahead.
If you'd like to. Yeah, all right. Why not? Hear the mighty roar of her engines as she takes off to the sky with a crew of 4 great pioneers, 2 Aussies born to fly. With her silver wings, they felt like kings as through the clouds they tossed. You'd see her glide and soar on high, that famous Southern Cross. Just how she felt way back then, no man could e'er deny. Free as a bird without a care, just gliding through the sky. So let's pause a while and spare a thought for the greatest craft of all, and to Smith and on to pioneers to whom we owe it all. So let's charge our glasses, one and all. Good luck from all of us, and we'll have a drink in memory of our man Smithy's bus. Now the old bus knew beyond a doubt she had gold to meet. Across that wide Pacific
She just can't admit defeat. Long may she live in peace and quiet. Her spirit never dies. Her spirit made as proud as hell as she flew the unflown skies. So let's charge our glasses, one and all. Good luck from all of us, and we'll have a drink in memory of Almond Smithy's bus. Yes, we'll have a drink in memory of Almond and Smithy's bus.
That was excellent, Johnny. That's what I call professional.
Thank you.
live on radio with no mistakes.
Yeah, that's the Southern Cross is actually based up in Brisbane Airport these days. That same plane that they flew, and that was Smithy's wish before he died. It was never to be flown again. You see.
Oh, right.
Sitting up there in a cage, glass cage.
Excellent. Norma, you got some questions for Johnny?
No, I'd just like to make a comment, Charlie, that in Johnny's song he mentions Ulm, who flew with Smithy. Charles Ulm used to give joy flights in St Mary's back in the late 20s, down where the Cobham Detention Centre is now.
Yep.
There was an airstrip there.
All right.
And our society has a photograph of him there with his plane. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure what type of plane it was.
Right. Yeah.
But that was very popular on Sunday afternoons for the locals to go there and have joy rides.
Barnstorming.
Yes.
Yeah, Smithy did the same too, didn't he, at Warrington Park? Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
It's amazing, most of these heroes, their name is Charles, like me.
Oh, you've got to grab onto every little bit of fame you can, Charlie.
Johnny, you got a pilot license yourself?
No, I haven't. No.
All right.
I'm just an admirer, enthusiast. Never flown.
Do you like flying? I mean, even with someone go for it?
Yes, I do.
Excellent.
I enjoy flying. I guess that's where I got my interest in aviation from in the beginning.
All right.
But
good on you, mate.
Yeah.
Norma, what have you got for us today?
Oh, well, I would like to ask Johnny a little more about Austin Burns.
Okay.
And where you met him.
All right. Well, actually, it's a long story, but he was living on the Central Coast at the time, and he was trying to get the government interested in building a museum to house his memorabilia. Unbelievable. It was just, it wouldn't fit in this whole studio, the stuff he'd made by hand. And he was a man that had left school at 12. He had virtually no formal education, but he was an artist, and he built a replica of the plane, and he had the globe of the world, pinpointed all the spots where Smithy flew to. Anyway, he wanted a big museum built because he'd been to America in the 30s. He was an old man when I met him. He was over 80, and he'd been in America in the 30s lecturing at the universities. And in that time he was over there, he raised more than $4 million for the U.S. war effort, just lecturing to the children. And he had a book this high, a couple of foot high, of compositions that children had written about Smithy and that, and he still kept it to this day, and all handwritten. And he was just a marvellous old man, and I was inspired so much by this man, And then he later came to Penrith through a friend of mine, and he got his work shown in Myers' store in Penrith there for 2 weeks. And children used to come in and check it out, and then he got it into the Blackstone Gallery in Grace Brothers in Sydney. And then last I heard, Gabby Kennard and I went to visit him. He was in a hostel up at Woy Woy, last we heard of him. And Gabby Kennard and I had a day out. We drove up there one day to have a talk to him, and I wanted to show her his girl. I knew she'd be interested, And she was very he didn't even know who she was. He wasn't particularly. He was 92 at that time, and his whole life was just centered around Smithy.
Yeah.
There was no one else that existed except as far as he was concerned.
Yeah.
Anyway, he last I heard, I know he passed away a couple of years ago, but his work's just probably in someone's shed now, just gathering dust. It's a great shame. But I feel that in many cases Australians don't sort of respect our heroes enough, and that's what he felt. He used to say his favourite saying was that the kids at school, he said, learn all about bush rangers and all sorts of things, but they don't learn enough about the important people like Smithy.
That's right.
He said it's a crying shame, and that's why he was adamant about getting his work left behind so that the children of the next generation could learn about Smithy. And unfortunately, it didn't quite come to pass.
That's a shame because I worked in one of our local schools for 28 years.
Yes.
And I heard people say, oh, children aren't interested in history, but I took the children on tours just of St Mary's every year. And it amazed me that once they knew the history of a place, it gave them some sort of ownership.
Ownership.
Right.
Oh, yes.
You have to encourage it.
Yes. And I think I might have told you, Charlie, earlier about one of the children I'd taken on a tour. And a few weeks later, he came to my office at the school and he was quite distraught because someone had put graffiti on Mr Bennett's fence.
All right.
Now, because he knew he had learned of the history of Mr Bennett and his home and his wagon works and all, it gave him a sort of ownership. And that's why he was so offended then that someone had defaced it. And I think, given the chance, children are interested in history.
That's right.
And as Johnny says, what a minefield this would have been, just a treasure trove of history for these children.
That's right.
Because I think of all our history, aviation has been the most rapid developing technology we've had.
That's right. Well, Austin really wanted the museum. He would have loved to have it built in the St Mary's Penrith area because of Smithy's affiliation with this area in the early days. He said that Smithy had a lot to do with this area. And he said this would have been an ideal place to have it.
And William Hart was another too.
Yes.
Involved in
been
this
reading
area.
William Hart's story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he did the first flight from Penrith to
Parramatta.
All right.
1911.
Okay, we'll go for a break. We'll hear one of Johnny's songs again. This one is called Good-Hearted Woman.
A long time forgotten, a dream that just fell by the way. And the good life she promised ain't what she's living today. But she never complained of the bad times, bad things she's done. Oh, she just talked about the good times they had and all the good times to come. Oh, she's a good-hearted woman in love with a good diamond man. She loves him in spite of his ways that she don't understand. To teardrops and laughter that pass through this world hand in hand. A good-hearted woman, loving a good diamond man. He likes the bright life, the night life, and good time and friends. When the party's all over, she'll welcome him back home again. Oh, she don't understand him, she does the best that she can. This good-hearted woman, loving a good time man. She's a good-hearted woman in love with a good time man. She loves him in spite of his wicked ways that she don't understand. To teardrops and laughter that pass through this world hand in hand. A good-hearted woman, loving a good diamond man. She's a good-hearted woman, loving a good diamond man.
Our sponsor, Penrith Swimming Centre, is the best backyard in Penrith. They have 4 pools, all heated, situated in a shady oasis in Station Street, Penrith, just across the road from the Pearl Square Shopping Centre. Barbecues, half-court basketball and skateboard ramp are also available. Swimming lessons are offered 6 days a week in the centre's Simply Swimming. Programs start from $82 for 10 lessons and bookings are necessary. Professional coaching is also available all year round with the Penrith City swimming team, and free assessments can be arranged. And don't forget the Quarterdeck Function Centre for your perfect place to party, or for meetings and seminars. Penrith Swimming Centre, phone 47213625. Proud sponsors of WOW FM 100.7.
Do you like 50s and 60s music? Are you tired of hearing the same hits all the time? Would you like to hear 50s and 60s tracks that aren't played on mainstream radio? If you answered yes to those questions, then tune in to WOW FM 100.7 every Tuesday night from 6 to 9 p.m. for Hits and Misses, presented by Paul Russell. That's me. I play some hits, but also songs that didn't chart, B-sides, album tracks, and the odd rarity. Join me on Tuesday nights from 6 p.m. on WOW FM 100.7. I think you'll like what you hear.
And I think you do too. Listen to Paul tomorrow night, Tuesday night from 6 till 9. And we're back with Johnny Russell and the usual Norma Thorburn.
Well, Historical Society is winding down now for the year. We've had a fairly busy year. In fact, I conducted a tour the day before I went away on holidays, which I've just returned from. All we've got now, there'll be no more tours over the summer months. It's too hot, but if anyone's interested, they can contact me. For probably about March I'll start again. And we've only got our Christmas party now, and then we help the Rotary Club sell raffle tickets.
All right.
Down in the village centre from now until Christmas. But with my other hat on, with the St Mary's Development Committee, we have our carols in the park on Friday night.
That's right.
And that's in Kokoda Park. Now, I've had so many inquiries. People say, where is Kokoda Park? I have asked the council to erect a sign because there is no sign. And I noticed in the street directory it just has park. It doesn't say Kokoda Park.
Believe it or not, last year I missed it. I went round the block 3 times.
Yes, yes. But Kokoda Park is on Charles Hackett Drive next to Target. And this is our second Carol's night, but it's going to be very special this year because those people that attended last year would remember our president, Robin Wiles, who was the MC on the evening, and she really got everyone singing along and had all the children dancing. Unfortunately, as I'm sure most of your listeners would know, we lost Robin in February. Now, Robin's family owned that land when she was a child. She lived there on the family property, and the council have agreed to name the walkway through the park the Robin Wiles Walkway.
All right.
Robin served for 8 years as a councillor in Penrith City Council and was president of the Development Committee for many years as well.
That's good to know that someone does something good, you get recognised for your work.
Yes, yes. Well, the Mayor will be dedicating the walkway to Robin on Friday evening.
Yeah, he's going to be
and
there.
her family will be attending, so it's going to be a special night.
I'm going to miss it.
Yes, yes. Well, you've got your party on the wrong night. It's difficult this time of year, though. There's so much happening. But we've got the St Mary's Brass Band will be playing, as well as the pipe band. The choir from the Lady of the Rosary Church in St Mary's will be singing, as they did last year. We've got the Riverland Harmony Chorus. That's a group of women who sing a cappella. And we've got the lovely Simone Wasley back again. She was a big hit with all the...
And has she grown since last year?
The children last year. She was dressed in her...
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, and yeah, she went over really well last year, so she'll be coming back, and I'm hoping to have some of the local school children as well. So we're asking everyone to come along. There'll be a barbecue at 6:45. carols commence at 7:30. But just bring your folding chair or a rug to throw on the grass, and we'll be handing out glow sticks to the children. We ask the adults to bring a torch. We don't want candles. They can be a little bit dangerous. And of course, the old fellow in the red suit will be making an appearance and
he's coming to see us too.
handing out some lollies for the, the children. So we're hoping for a really good evening.
So with the barbecue, Norma, you're supplying the sausages and all that, or everyone brings his own?
Oh, no, that's all supplied.
It's all supplied.
They can buy that. The Girl Guides will be running the barbecue.
Okay,
so,
well,
they make a few dollars out of it as well.
Imagine the butcher of your life, where you're getting all the meat from.
Well, I'm not sure where they're buying the meat, but no, they'll be there in attendance, and so it should be a good family evening.
Well, it was pleasant last year. I enjoyed it.
Yes, we just hope for nice weather on the night as we had last year. It'll be good.
Excellent. Okay, then, well, don't forget, on this Friday coming, 5th of December, Kokoda Park, Charles Hackett Drive, St. Mary's, and there is signs erected now so that you won't miss them. You won't do like me. I've been around here all these years, and I didn't know where Kokoda Park is. But now I'm sure you can find it with the signs on. And it's going to be St. Mary's Brass and Pipe Bands, local singer Simone Worsley. She was excellent last year. Riverland Harmony Chorus, a local school chorus, St. Mary's Catholic Church Choir, dedication of the Robin Wilds Walkway by the Mayor Craig Davis. Excellent. I think we'll go for another one of Johnny's songs. What do you call this one you just gave me?
It's called Loving You is the Best Thing That I Do, Charlie.
Good on you.
Well, you never ever realize until it comes to you just how much change your life and started things new. Just like you read in storybooks, I found a love so true. Now loving you with all my heart is the best thing that I do. Well, loving you, my precious girl, is the best thing that I do. Feel your arms around me tight, each long day is through. I wear a smile from ear to ear, from the day I first met you. 'Cause loving you with all my heart is the best thing that I do. My side, everywhere I go. To know your love sure turns me on. It's the sweetest thing I know. I want to shout it out loud, as well as telling you. 'Cause loving with all my heart is the best thing that I do. Well, loving you, my precious girl, is the best thing that I do. Feel your arms around me tight, each long day is through. I wear a smile from ear to ear, from the day I first met you. 'Cause loving you with all my heart is the best thing that I do. Yes, loving you with all my heart is the best that I do.
Hi everyone, this is Donna Boyd with Charlie Connor on WOW FM.
Join me every Monday and Tuesday morning between 7 and 10 a.m. for some great country music. And thank you, Donna. It's time again to get you here. And I think she's overseas at the moment.
Overseas?
No, she had to go to America.
Yeah.
That's how she met Doug. She went on a cruise ship singing.
Yes.
And being stubborn, she didn't want to sing with the pianist that they had on board there. And she went, I want a better pianist than this guy.
Yeah.
And Doug came along. They sent to Doug. He came over.
Yeah.
And that's where they met. And
Oh, okay.
they're still together. He's an excellent guy. Doug, you met Doug?
No.
Oh, he's Yankee.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. He's a good Yankee.
Yeah.
I give him heaps. But
Well, I
anyway.
can recommend the cruise ships because I've just had a beautiful cruise.
Did you?
10 days, yes.
Good on you.
That sounds nice, doesn't it?
Oh,
It is. I love this. In fact, I came to Australia on the boat. It took 30 days. Yeah, it was lovely. I love the water. That's what I'm missing. You know, I live up this way. It's too far to go
yes.
to the sea from me.
Yes.
But anyway, what can I say? Thank you for coming.
Well,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Norma.
Charlie. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, Charlie.
You're
Thank you,
excellent
Tom.
man, and I hope it won't be the first and last time.
I'll pop in and see you from time to time.
Good on you, man.
Make sure you're doing the right thing.
Good on you. Thank you very much. That was Johnny Russell, our special guest, and the usual guest, Norma Thorburn, the president of the St. Mary's Historical Society.